We're going to start out pretty basic to begin with, and that's with working on identifying the parts of the slope equation. So first and foremost, we have to understand that this equation is also known as the slope equation or the y-intercept equation. The m in this equation represents the slope of the line. So when we worked last section on counting out slope, this is where we would put our slope, or where the equation is going to identify the slope. The x is still going to remain an x, and the b will represent the y-intercept, or the point on the y line where the line crosses. We're going to work right now on working just equations and identifying those two pieces, because in order for us to be successful in graphing the slope-intercept form, we have to understand where we're going to pull our numbers from. So as we look at this equation, y equals 3x minus 7, we're going to identify which of those numbers, the 3 or this minus 7, is our y-intercept and which one is the slope. Well, our slope is always directly connected to our x. So here, if I go ahead and I fill out my slope, that would be 3. Now, when we graph these, slope, remember, is always rise over run, so it would really be 3 over 1. Our y-intercept is where our starting point will be when we work on graphing these, and that's where our line crosses the y line, or the y-intercept line. So here, this would be our y-intercept. So we would go to -7 on our graph when we start doing these, and we would put a dot. And from there, we would work through our slope and going through and connecting our dots. Okay, so right now, all we're going to do is focus on identifying the different parts of the slope-intercept, and then we'll advance that a little bit. Okay, so here's our next one. I have y equals 2x plus 3. So our slope is 2, because that's connected to the x, and our y-intercept, which right now I'm just going to put our y, is going to be a positive 3. Okay, as we start to go through and work these out, we have to understand which one's which so that we can find our starting point, which is our y-intercept, and then follow the slope from there to create our second dot and create our line. Oops. Let's try another one. Okay. So our slope on this one, well, our slope is 1/2. And take note, I'm not writing the x next to that. The slope is just the 1/2. So my rise would be 1, my over to the right would be 2 if I were graphing this out. My y-intercept is where it crosses the y line, or actually when we're graphing it is going to be my first step, is positive 4. Okay, so I'm going to slide one out, and I want you to do this next one independently. Okay, so try this one. Maybe go ahead and pause your video. Try this one out, identifying which is the slope of those two numbers and which is your y-intercept. Okay, so here we ended up with our slope as -3/5 and our y-intercept as positive 2.